Hello everyone, welcome back to the lecture series. In the current lecture, we are going to discuss about the concept called neoliberalism. So many scholars has been apprehended neoliberalism as the capitalism of 20th century or capitalism since 20th century because of its unique characteristics in the economic phenomena. Uh, in the current lecture, we are going to discuss neoliberalism very briefly in a segmented manner. We'll start our discussion with origin, objectives, and we'll enter into the process of its implementation. And we'll also look into the concept called neoliberal state and its link with nationalism. So let us enter into the lecture. Uh, before getting into the concept of neoliberalism, let me clarify the difference between the liberalism and neoliberalism. Many will get confused with the concepts called neoliberalism and liberalism. Many students will also get accustomed to the myth that neoliberalism is equal to liberalism, but there is a strict difference between these two phenomena. See, liberalism is mostly concerned with the political and moral liberalities. See, neoliberalism is mostly a political and moral philosophy. So it's talk about freedom to the social elements like freedom to the human being and freedom to the any social element per se. But neoliberalism is very economical. So the phenomena is very economical, and it will talk about the liberalism attached to the economic phenomena like capitalism, first like capital, commodities, labor, and such that. So liberalism has a strong character of social elements, whereas neoliberalism has strong character of uh, capital, or sorry, economic phenomena or economic elements. So these two will sorry, these elements make them very diverged ideas or diverged concepts. But most of the neoliberalism ideas have been implemented, sorry, extracted from the liberalism. But there is a strict divergence between those concepts. So liberalism is mostly a political and moral philosophy, whereas neoliberalism is concentrated in the economic ideas or economic ideology. So the early manifestation of neoliberalism is very difficult to precise. See, we can't say on this day of 24th or 24th May or 26th or 27th May 1980 or sorry 1920 or 1970 we got the neoliberal phenomena. See, the ideas will not evolve in a day or in a week or a month, but rather it takes years of debates to get into an ideology or idea. So we can't we can't precise a date, but rather we can see many developments has been tied to the year 1970s. So what's the significance of 1970s? See, after World War, so many countries opt to the concept called Keynesian state. Keynesian state is also called as welfare state. So uh, the state has given the responsibility to distribute the wealth. So the state has been given the authority to distribute wealth. So state will mostly distribute its wealth to the poor or most needy rather than concentrating its interest in the capitalist class. So many government has been evolved after the World War, but in the 1970s or in the early 1970s, the profits has been decreased in the capitalist account. So there has been a crisis type of situation in the 1970s. So they opted to the concept called neoliberalism, where we are liberating the trade and states has been given with lesser responsibilities, mostly given with the monopoly of military power. But the interest has been diverted from the welfare state to the state where the interest has been mostly the preference has been given to the capitalist interest, where the state has to support capitalist foundations or capitalist institutions which provides them with higher profits. So we are now turned to the objectives of neoliberalism. So see, what are the objectives? So first, mainly, if we talk about the objectives of neoliberalism, so the basic objective of neoliberalism taught by many scholars that the main objective is to turn the wealth or distribute wealth towards the highest income brackets or in the favor of privileged minority. That is transfer of wealth from the poorer section or weaker section, which has been accumulated in the period of Keynesian state towards the capitalist minorities, or divergence or diversion of wealth in the favor of capitalist minorities. So there has been a new sort of social order has been developed in the neoliberal state. But there has been many objectives, but see, if you take one counter to these ideas of turning wealth towards the highest income brackets, that is, neoliberalism is also created opportunities for the less privileged students or less privileged enthusiasts, thereby providing opportunities worldwide or global wide. Opportunities has developed and technology has developed where everyone can access the technology or information from their home. But we can't say it in totality. In general, we can speak that opportunity has been raised, but the counter to the idea of opportunity is that Gini coefficient in India. See, if Gini coefficient is nothing but that measures the differences. So if you calculate the Gini coefficient in the income brackets, or if you consider the income inequalities in India, it has been raised significantly from the liberalism and LPG time. So that is economic liberalism in India. After economic liberalism in India, the income inequalities are actually raised. So if you talk about opportunities, the opportunities has been never equal in totality. But rather in general, if we talk about the opportunities, there is been significant rise in the uh, opportunities, but we can't say it in totality. So we can also say that there has been incremental pressure on the workers because due to the neoliberalism, the capital has been started to move across the borders such that the capitalism is attracted to the place where the natural resources are of low cost, are of low cost. So due to these phenomena, due to low labor costs in certain geographical location or in certain countries, there has been increased pressure on workers because they have to work for low wages because the capital has been very flexible and mobile, such that it can go away from our place if our labor cost is very high. See, the open trade barriers allow the capital, they allow the large investment in favor of state, which gives them higher returns. So if state A giving a return of $10 per day, and if state B is giving a return of $12 per day, obviously capitalists are interested to invest in 12. If you consider state A and state B as the two states in the country, so hypothetically, uh, in the world. So state A and state B are two states in the world, and if state A belongs to our state A is where or state A is where companies is started, or state A is where companies inhabited or a country where company is started. And if state A is if state A cost you or giving you return of $10 and state B is giving you a return of $12, irrespective of the country the company belong to, the company will start to invest in state B because it's giving $2 increased high returns thereby. So it's basically the game of high returns. So wherever you get high returns, you will tend to invest there. So how neoliberalism has started to implement or impose on the country? So how neoliberalism from the capitalist country started to get its wing over many other countries or many other less developed or less capitalist countries. So the the phenomena is very centric. See, the main capitalist country will tend to provide its wings to the periphery countries using many instruments. Many instruments. So a capitalist country or capitalist centric countries or most developed countries will forward this idea towards many developing or underdeveloped countries. So what instruments has been used in this implementation process? See, many believe that they are using only straightforward economic tools, but the black side of this is that the country started to use more coercion, process or war or military powers to get the control of periphery countries or less developed or developing countries. So political tools that has been used in the establishment of this neoliberalism process is the establishment of friendly government. So in higher income brackets of that country will support the idea of neoliberalism, thereby forming the government or or establishing a federal government which supports the neoliberalism. And the role of World Bank, IMF, and NATO is also significant in the establishment of neoliberalism order throughout the global in the global scale, because they frame different frameworks that will throw a bone towards through the countries, thereby turning themselves into neoliberalism countries. Neoliberal countries. See, the interesting facet of the neoliberalism imposition is that there has been no straightforward force by the capitalist countries, but some of the countries, the periphery states will is itself granted its natural resources to use without any force or being applied by the capitalist country, because uh, the the uh, the significance of neoliberalism is such because it guaranteed some of the greatest revenues in the capitalist eras. So why this process has been is executed by the capitalist countries? Why? Because to extract the resources at the lowest price. See, in the developing countries, you can extract the resources at the lowest cost than the developed countries. So that's the main intention behind that process. See, the main concept of neoliberalism is different state. See, the phenomenon of neoliberalism is unique because it's state arrangement. The sovereignty is very praised in the uh, very praised during the colonial era. So where the states has been fought for the independence or fought for the sovereignty. But India is also one of the countries where it fought for the sovereignty. But due to coming up of neoliberalism, the sovereignty has been surrendered to the capital, where capital can move, or capital can influence a country's decision, or the capital can influence its policy measures, the capital can influence or dictate a country. So sovereignty has been really surrendered to the capital, or mobile capital, if we say it in specifically. So what's the uniqueness of neoliberal state? A strong individual property rights characteristic has been introduced in the neoliberal state, because a strong if an individual can do whatever he can in the neoliberal state, an individual can do whatever he can, or whatever he can purchase whatever he can. There is no limits to the property he can be held, or there are no limits of for the capital he can hold. So he can distribute its wealth across the world, or he can get the wealth from many parts of the world. So there are no individual property rights, and the institutional support. See, very fundamental of any social evolution is that institutional support from the back end. So institutional support has been also there for the neoliberalism. So many unique institutions has been established for the neoliberalism, and WTO, IMF, World Bank, all these are also a part of institutional structure established to protect the neoliberal state. But the state, see what if it's all done by the individual forces, or individualism is strong character of the neoliberal state, then what's the use of state? The state can simply use its monopoly power of its violence, that is, monopoly power of its military to protect these foundations. So the state should use its violence just to protect this foundation, just to protect the individual property rights of the neoliberal state. So state has been given only responsibility to protect these foundations of the neoliberal state. So why this has been introduced? See, this introduced in very simple assumptions. If we consider, one of the assumption is that rising tides lift all boats. So if one of the company has been risen in the country, or has been risen, if economic growth has been significantly higher in the country, such that many economic ills such as poverty and unemployment can be addressed. That's also known as trickle down policy. But trickle down effect has been very much criticized by the many scholars, because the effect has been very minor, or very meager in the different parts of the world. See, another scenario is that due to a higher economic growth, or due to higher specialization, due to capital mobility, there will be a significant decrease in the cost of production, and there will be that can be reflected in the commodity exchange value. That can be reflected in decrease in price of commodity, thereby benefiting a larger poor section of the society. But that that effect has been also been considered to the minor, because a large, see, that can be, however, been seen, but this process, however, doesn't hinder the process of ultimate accumulation of wealth, or increased accumulation of wealth in the favor of capitalists. So neoliberalism and nationalism nationalism has been very long-standing feature of the neoliberalism. Many argued that nationalism can hinder the process of neoliberalism, because nationalism is characterized by the idea that highly reflects the or highly promotes the idea of one state, or one nation, the feeling of attachment of nation. So in these fields, the so nationalism ultimately promotes the sovereignty of the country, but rather neo-nationalism, some sort of nationalism has been supported as neoliberalism. For example, if you consider any company, for say a company A has been started in the state A, so there the national character of state A, sorry, national character of, sorry, any citizen of nation C. Consider, let us reconsider that. Consider two nations, nation A, nation B in the world, hypothetically, and company A comes from nation A. So company A comes from nation A. So the citizens of nation A will take its pride in the company A, because it started because the founder of company A belongs to nation A. So it takes pride in company, and they will help in promoting the company A towards the world, throughout the world, or to the state nation B. See, that can be also reflected in the sport team. See, now due to this neoliberal nationalism, extreme nationalism, many citizens has been supporting its sports team, which is representing the national, very high, because due to its nationalist character. See, the competition has been extended. See, competition has been extended very widely due to the nationalism, because due to nationalism, the competition has been risen, because they are representing one country. So they are taking in pride of representing total citizens of nation A, and nation A are taking pride because they are representing them. So this sort of nationalism character has been helped neoliberalism to grow. Uh, yeah, thank you. This is the brief introduction, or brief discussion on the neoliberalism. In the next lecture, we'll continue with the different elements of the capitalism. Thank you.